What if I have this very ordinary looking shot of this watch and just with a single prompt, I want to create an entire professional photo shoot. So I write something like this, create a professional luxury shoot for this watch which exudes elegance. And then I get shots like these. Different styles, different compositions, and they all look amazing. And the best part is the tool that we're going to be using, it also allows you to turn all this into a professional looking video with a few clicks. But right now, let's look at another example. What if we have this ordinary shot of these pancakes? Something that you would get if you were to just take out your cell phone and click. But again, with a single prompt, create a professional food shoot for these pancakes and you start to get cinematic looking shots like these. Not just one shot, an entire photo shoot like this. But why just inanimate stuff? Let's also look at an example which involves people. So this time I've got the image of this jacket as well as the headshot of this man. And let's say I want to do an entire e-commerce photo shoot because I want to sell this jacket. Then again, I write in something like this. Create a professional shoot for this jacket where the man is wearing it both in a studio setting as well as outdoors. Change the poses and the composition in each shot. So pretty open-ended once again. And you can see the same man, the same jacket in different environments. And this can easily be used in any e-commerce website. So what is the tool behind this? So when Nano Banana, Seedream 4 and the other AI editing tools were celebrating, thinking they had conquered the entire AI editing scene, their party was crashed by an uninvited guest, and not just any guest. You might have had caramel popcorn, salted popcorn, cheese popcorn, but wait till you taste Higgsfield Popcorn. Now, the name may sound corny, but if recent history has taught us anything, it is that we should not judge a tool by its name. And you should certainly not judge anything out there by Higgsfield AI till the time you have tried it on your own, because apart from ruining the mood of the existing AI tools out there, it is capable of doing so much more. So let's have a deeper look. Higgsfield Popcorn is a brand new image generation model by Higgsfield AI. As of now, it's completely free. At its core, it's a storyboarding tool, which means if you were to upload an image and write in a prompt, it can create multiple images which are tied together by consistency. That means the appearance of the products or the characters, the lighting, the composition, everything stays intact. And that is something we've not seen till now, because the other tools like Nano Banana and Seedream were only able to create one image at a particular time. But this can create up to 8 different images, as you're going to see, with the help of 10 different examples. So let's get started with our first example, which will just be to demonstrate what exactly is storyboarding. So how do you access this tool? Well, first of all, you're going to go over to higgsfield.ai. The link is in the description. We'll also be using a lot of different images for the different examples. You can download those also from the description so you can work along with me. After you create your free account, just head over to this part which says Popcorn Free. And you can see this is the interface. On a free Higgsfield account, these days you get 25 daily credits which reset every 24 hours. And this is the best part. Remember, each time you write in a prompt, it'll generate a set of images like you'd seen in the examples before. And each of those sets is only going to cost you around 2 to 5 credits, which is extremely cheap. And the fact that it resets every 24 hours makes it extremely liberal even on the free account. Now, how does this exactly work? Let's see a very simple example. Remember, I told you at its core, it's a storyboarding tool. So let's start off with an example which demonstrates the usage of that. So let's say we have got this headshot of this man and we want to actually create different scenes where he is a detective and he's just searching for clues. So what we can do here is, first of all, we can just upload his headshot right here. Once the headshot is here, we can then select either the auto mode or the manual mode, which I'll just tell you what exactly it means. But right now, we are inside the auto mode, which is not bad at all, as you learn later on. And right here in this part, I can just paste in a prompt like this. This man is a detective in a cinematic and dark movie. He is searching for clues in a dark apartment. As he's searching, he opens up a cupboard and finds the killer standing inside it. The killer is wearing a black jacket, mask, and hat. So a typical spooky scene. The next thing we have to do is select how many of these generations do we want. That means how many images should be created. So this is completely up to you. Whenever you're using a reference image, one of the slots goes away, so you can only generate a maximum of 7 results. So let's choose that. And now here you can select the aspect ratio. So let's say ultimately I want to turn these into different videos. So 16:9 is perfect for that. And that's all. On the auto mode, you do not do anything else apart from writing an open-ended and simple prompts like these, okay? And then you just hit generate for free. But before I do that, let me just show you what manual means, because it's exactly the same thing. It's just that for each of those 7 images, you have complete control in case you want to customize each prompt for each scene. We'll see some examples for this later on, but what you will realize is that even if you describe those scenes in the auto mode, that also works. So this isn't really of too much use. But right now, I'm going to hit this button which says generate for free, and you will see all these 7 images being generated right here. So let's wait for these. All right, so we've got our 7 results. Let's just open these up. First of all, of course, we want to see if it really follows the prompt. We asked for cinematic and dark. Does it look cinematic and dark? Absolutely yes. Is it the same man? We probably can't notice too much in this image, but if we head over to the second generation, this is the second scene, you can see that's exactly the same person. So Popcorn is pretty amazing when it comes to keeping things consistent. Let's look at the third frame here. He starts to search for those clues. You can see here, absolutely amazing. Just imagine having to generate all these separately. That would just take too much time and effort. And finally, he opens the cupboard and he finds the killer right inside it. So you can see how easy that was. Now, since this is Higgsfield, I can also just hit the animate button and turn all this into a video. Not just that, I can also hit the edit button if I didn't like anything here and use all the other models I have at my disposal thanks to Higgsfield like Nano Banana, Seedream, and further edit this image or this frame in any way that I want. We'll be seeing some examples of that later on also. So yes, at its core, it's a storyboarding tool, but like I said, because its main strength is that it can generate multiple variations just from a single prompt, there are so many use cases. So let's see another example. So again, let's take a simple example. This time we have this very casual looking shot of these pancakes. Let's turn it into something more professional, but rather than just writing a simple open-ended prompt, this time let's go for something which is more elaborate. So first of all, let's upload the image right here. And then let's go to ChatGPT, where what I've done is I just uploaded the original shot and I've just written in prompt to create 6 different professional food shots for this pancake. Choose any style, but all the shots should be cinematic. And then it just gives out a prompt which is, just organized in a neat manner like this with the different numbers. And then you can take all this over, and this is what allows you to use this even in the auto mode. Because if I go back here, then instead of going to manual here, then writing it separately, all those separate numbered prompts, I can do the same thing in auto. And in my opinion, it just saves much more time, because then you just have to copy paste it once and it really follows it even inside the auto mode, whatever you have written with the different numbers here. So it's not like you always have to use the manual approach. And then again, the same thing, you can choose the number of results. Since I've gone for 6 variations, I'm going to select 6 here. Again, I will let this be set at 16:9 and then hit generate. Since I've already done this, let me show you the results. And just like that, I have 6 results already. So you can see here, it's the first one, looks amazing. The toppings are very consistent. It's the same pancake, so that's amazing. With a cinematic look, and everything just looks amazing. And you can always generate more since it's so cheap. So I had generated another set of 6 images, and every time is going to give you something slightly different. So in that case, you can even pick the winners out of the different sets and get something that you really want. Now, the best part is because we have so many other tools at our disposal here. Let's say I don't like something in any of these images. So let's just take an example. Maybe right here, okay, I don't like the dark background here, or maybe I don't like the surface here. Then what I can do is just simply hit edit and then use any of the editing tools out here. So I can just go over here, select maybe, let's say, Nano Banana, and I can type in, change the surface to something wooden, and just generate it for 1 credit. And you're going to see just like that, we'll be able to even edit anything that we don't like. All right, so within 10 seconds, our result is ready, and just have a look at this. Just change the surface just like that. So Nano Banana can also be used along with this tool. That just takes its flexibility to another level. Let's see another example. So this time let me directly show you the result because you know the process. So for these shots, there are two different sets and I'll tell you what was different here. For these 5 images, I had used these 2 images. So you can use multiple images as your context images also. And the prompt was very simple. You can see, create a photo shoot for this man where he's wearing this sweater, full body shots, close-up shots, and medium close-up shots, and different poses. So you can introduce as much randomness as you want, and it's going to exactly follow that. So let's have a look at these shots. You already saw this before. And you can see it's the same man. The clothing is the same. Everything is really, really consistent. So I got 5 shots like this, but I did want to try out the same thing, but just uploading the image of the sweater or the jacket. And this time I wanted to see the amount of realism it can generate on its own with the AI look. And I was very impressed by its own AI persona also, because you can see this man looks incredibly real, because Higgsfield actually had a tool like this before. They still have it, called Fashion Factory, where you could do something similar. Upload the image of the clothes, and then it would create those set of images in different poses, different environments. But the problem with that tool was that the AI person that it used to create, it just used to have too many artifacts. Sometimes the head would be too big, the body would be too small. But with Higgsfield Popcorn, this is on another level, because if you look at the different images here, and he looks really, really real. And remember, we don't have to settle for this. We have tools like Enhancer, as I'll be showing you in the examples that are about to come. We can even make the texture on the skin look more real. But according to me, Higgsfield Popcorn does create some very real looking texture already. And I think this is just absolutely fantastic. Let's look at the next example. This is another example for like a product ad where the reference images was the headshot of this woman and these chips packet. And again, an open-ended prompt, an ad for a packet of chips where the main character is the female in the first image. And you can see here. Incredible consistency and everything just look good. The only downside of Higgsfield Popcorn is doesn't do too well when it comes to creating text on its own. So I even tried a lot of different use cases with graphic design objectives, and it just did not do a very good job. So when it comes to text or designs, that means you're creating something out of it, is probably not the best tool for it. Let's look at the next example. So this is a great use case for Higgsfield Popcorn. If you have an existing image like this, let's say you've done some sort of a portrait shoot, then you upload that as the reference image and just see a simple prompt on the auto mode like this. Create different shots in a similar style, but change the poses and composition, change the clothes too, but the clothes should only be casual wear. Also change the color of the backdrop in each photo. You do this and suddenly you have an entire set of the shoot. So just see this created by AI. And you can see the consistency is absolutely amazing. It's changing the clothes, the backdrop, the person is the same. And this is, in my opinion, a great use case. Like I said before, in most cases, you will have to put this through an upscaler like Enhancer if you really want extremely real looking results. But that's not the problem that only Higgsfield Popcorn has. This is a common problem across different AI models, like even with Nano Banana and Seedream, that they just on their own don't produce a very real looking skin. They often have to be upscaled separately. So you had seen this example before. This was the reference shot, a very casual looking shot of this watch. Again, just look at the prompt. It's so easy. Professional photo shoot for this luxury watch. It should exude the aura of luxury and elegance. And when I open up these shots, they're absolutely amazing. One prompt, and you literally got that exact same watch in so many different styles. And the best part is, like you saw in the intro part of this video, is that I turned these same shots into videos with so much ease, because just like we edited the shot in one of the examples before, remember this is Higgsfield, so they have so many video models at their disposal. I can just hit this animate button anytime. It's automatically going to take in the frame here. Then I can change the video model. So let's say if I go in for something like cling maybe, so I can select cling, then select the general mode here, and then write a simple prompt like a cinematic motion, which looks like an ad for this watch. You don't really have to get too descriptive. And with a single click, then you start to get, videos like this. So you can see here, So in my opinion, Higgsfield Popcorn is just great for anyone into video production because the main task used to be to create these images. Animating them was never the tough task. In fact, that's the fun part. But now that we get all these images just from a single prompt, video production is going to become so much more quicker. Now, since we were talking about video production, check out this example. So this is the original image that we're going to upload inside Popcorn. And let's say we want to turn this into a video where these two women are talking. Of course, you don't want a static video with just the same composition. You want to be able to create some different scenes, just like you see in movies. So you upload that photo and just look at how simple this prompt is. Show different angles of this scene. This is a scene where a dialogue is taking place between two women. That's all. I selected 7 different variations here, and just look at the consistency here. Exactly the same women, the same environment, everything remains amazing. I think only in the last scene here did it mess things up. This was the first time I encountered an artifact, because you can see here, this time it's the same person, but this has been extremely rare, and overall the consistency is just amazing, and this can make your videos very, very dynamic. Another fun use case of this tool can be to create different types of profile photos, maybe let's say for a dating app, because if we have just one image like this, then we can create that same person in different environments doing different things. So here I had created these different pictures and I had prompted it to basically create dating app photos where this person is doing different things. This is what I had got out of ChatGPT. So to describe these 7 scenes like coffee shop reader, beach sunset walk, gym workout, and all these things. And you can see here the results were pretty good. The consistency was great. So this was the first result. This is the second one. And like I said, haven't really encountered too many artifacts, which is again amazing. One thing, as I discussed before, was that sometimes the face can look a bit soft here. So just downloaded this image. If I just open this up, you can see here, yeah, it has a bit of that AI polished look, which I'm just going to tell you how to correct it. But before that, also let's talk about the resolution. So it's not too good, but it's not too bad either. So the longest edge will have roughly around 1500 pixels. So it's slightly more than Nano Banana. So definitely good enough for social media usage. And then when you put something like this through Enhancer, which is something I've shown a lot of times in my videos, you can make it look more realistic. So I have done that right here. So if I just open this up inside Enhancer, you can see that it just adds that texture. And now it just looks extremely real, almost like a photograph. So yes, just like was the case with Nano Banana, I think you will have to go in for that $9 a month subscription for Enhancer in case you really want to go to the next level when it comes to realism. Now let's see the next example. So here I wanted to try out a slightly more challenging script and see how the storyboarding goes. So the product here was this perfume bottle and our model was this woman. And the whole premise of the prompt was that she just uses this perfume, and the moment she sprays it on herself, she goes into like this fantasy world where she's a queen. So I did like these initial images. You can see that it really kept the product very consistent, the label, everything, the design. And here she just sprays it on herself. So you can turn all these into videos. So that's a great advantage. But I didn't like this part because she didn't really look like a queen. So sometimes then you can just run it again. And let me show you the next set of results I got were these, where I didn't like the initial part this time because it didn't really look like that she was using the perfume. But the last 2 scenes where she turned into the queen were much better in this case. So sometimes you can then use the images from those different sets and get the best of both the worlds. Now I want to show you this last example so that you can understand why Higgsfield Popcorn is so amazing at creating consistent things, because doing something like this is incredibly tough using Nano Banana or Seedream, as I'm going to be showing you. So remember, you had seen these images. So I had actually created a storyboard for this, that Higgsfield Popcorn is a new AI tool, and I had written all that in the prompt, and then all these 3 tools were having their own fun time and it crashes the party and everything. For some reason, this time it actually created the images in the reverse order. Like this was supposed to be the first one and it went on like this. So I don't know what happened there, but ultimately it did create the 4 images I was going in for. So you can see this is where they were celebrating. Ultimately, I had to edit this and make Nano Banana smile. So this is where I had used Nano Banana edit itself, just like I had shown you before. This was the second result. Really like the way it kept Higgsfield Popcorn blurred. So it kind of created that anticipation as to what it is. And you can see throughout it is keeping the bar, the environment, all the characters very, very consistent. And then it kind of comes in here. And finally, you can see at the end, they were all shaken up and sad. So it was really impressed by this. Then what I did was, just to test things out, I actually went over to Nano Banana. I took one of these images and then I said, create an image where, this Higgsfield Popcorn character is flexing the muscles and these characters just look scared. And this was the result that I basically got. And you could see that it was not able to maintain that consistency, even though I had uploaded the original image as a reference image. So now you can see the importance of Higgsfield Popcorn, that it's not that easy to keep everything consistent in that storyboard. And something like this, we just didn't have at our disposal before. And this can be great for anyone who wants a series of images, but you don't want the other things to deviate from the original look. So is this going to be the end of Nano Banana, Seedream, and the other AI tools? I don't think so. As we've already seen in this video, even Higgsfield Popcorn will rely for the editing part on Nano Banana and Seedream. Sometimes when you need to be more accurate, you need to do things while maintaining the resolution, Photoshop will come into play, as I've shown before in my videos. And ultimately, it's again going to be a scenario where it completely depends on what is your own objective. But in almost all scenarios, I think it's fair to conclude that most of these tools will have to work together as a team, because things can be very subjective. However, what is not subjective is who is winning the all-in-one AI app race. Higgsfield AI, with their native tools as well as the integration with so many other image and video editing tools out there, seems to be right now the most solid choice. In case this video helped you out, do give it a like, and for more AI tutorials like this, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.